myself. God. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to my live. This is Carla's Way channel. I normally my channel is about fashion, traveling, and I post a little bit of family content. And sometimes I just get on here and I'll talk for a very long time or a short time about various topics. So, today, I wanted to talk about, is love really blind? And guys, when you come into my live, please make sure you like the live and subscribe to my channel if you can, just to support me. I'm a small YouTuber trying to increase my following and get monetized. So please make sure you like my channel and like my live. So my topic that I wanted to talk about is love really blind? Is love really blind? Because I was in a hair salon and they were talking about the show Love is Blind. And one of the guys, he told a female, I haven't watched Love is Blind since the very first season. I saw the first season and then one of my favorite couples broke up, and after that I just, I didn't want to watch the show anymore because I got disappointed. I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't like to see get so invested in couples and then they break up. I don't like that, but I guess it's some of the show is real life, and people can break up, people make up break up. So she was talking about in the hair salon, we were talking about on Love is Blind that one of the couples who matched, the guy kept telling the lady, "Oh, I'm not into you." Like I guess they connected, and he kept telling her, "I'm not into you. I'm not interested in you. This relationship is not going to work." He said, "I'm not physically attracted to you because I'm normally attracted to girls who they're fit and they're into yoga." And I guess she had a body type, but she didn't have the body type that he wanted. But he told her up front, he told her, "Oh, I'm not physically into you. I'm into girls who look like the girls who do yoga." And so when they went to the altar, he she said yes, and then he said no, he does not want to marry her. But the thing is, love is blind because he told you from the start. He told you from the start that he was not interested, and he's into a particular type of woman. And then in your mind, you think some way you can change that man to make him like you. No, he told you from the start you're not his type. So if uh so basically I'm saying, is love really blind? It's not blind. Some people are just delusional. They're delusional and they think they can make someone like them. If a person or individual tell you from the start that they're not into you, you have to listen to them because you're not going to be able to change them. Nothing will change that person's mind, whether it's monetary, whatever, you spoil them, whatever, they're not going to be into you. I think sometimes love is instantaneous. As soon as you see someone, like that will be the person that I love and that will be the person that I want to be with, for a long period of time or for the rest of my life. That's the person I want to marry, true love. But the show Love is Blind, I think sometimes, hi guys, thank you for coming into my live. Don't forget to like the channel and subscribe. Now, and like the live if you can. Now, the thing about Love is Blind is that pretty much these couples, they're going on a blind date, and on the blind date, you're you're in between a barrier, and the barrier, you're saying, you're talking about your likes and your dislikes. You're talking about it with these strangers, and then it's like blind dates. You talk to different people, and based on your answers or whatever, you connect with whoever you connect with. Now, there was another guy on Love Is Blind that he connected with a girl that looked like a baddie, but they have options on the show, of course. He connected with a girl that looked like a baddie on the show, but he was someone who communicated a lot, he talked a lot. And the female, she is like, he talked and she fell asleep on the phone. She fell asleep on the phone, and it's like after that happened to him, he went ahead and he dated the girl that he wasn't interested in initially. So that's pretty much stating that, love can be blind, but when you see the signs, you have to get out. And that's why I think a lot of people get hurt because they think you can make someone love you, you can make someone change, you can. And that's the thing about Love Is Blind as well, because Love Is Blind will get you scammed either by a female or a male. Look at what happened to a lot of these celebrities. I know a lot of people who they get into a relationship, and it's at the end of the relationship, they're scammed by their ex-spouse or ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. You were bamboozled, you were tricked, you were manipulated by this person, and then now you have to pay up for it. Look at Mary J. Blige. She have to pay 200,000 per month for her husband, who were her manager and somebody she thought she loved. But I think females and males, they see the signs. I don't think anyone is that gullible. I think people see the signs and they choose to ignore it. You cannot ignore things when it comes to love. You have to be awake. You cannot be blind. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you. And that's why at the altar, this female who loved this guy, she loved him, and he pretty much he left her at the altar. He left her at the altar on Love Is Blind. And but he told you up front, he told you that he was not into you. So I feel like most people need to listen to others when they say they're not into you, because they're truly not into you. You cannot change a man or a woman to be into you. And that's how you'll have a bad and miserable relationship, because you're blinded by everything. You're blinded by how someone look. People can look good on the outside. An individual can look good on the outside, dress very nice, but you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. You don't know their true heart. You don't know their true feelings. So you cannot be blinded by the the looks. You cannot be blinded by how someone look. You can you can get with a guy, he looks really good, or get with a female and get really and they look good. They look good, but that person is just coming to use you. They're coming to take everything that you have. There's people out there who are very smart, they're very trickery, and in this life you have to be careful because you'll think everyone is like you, but no one is like you. Not everyone will be genuine. There's people who are very they're they just want. They want the glitz, they want the glamour, they want the lifestyle. And some people will do whatever it takes to get to that point. So you can trust people, be manipulated by people, be blinded by how someone looks, and it's not gonna work. You can't be blinded by how someone looks, because if you're blinded by how someone looks in love, then pretty much you'll be you're blinded by how someone looks, and you'll get the short end of the stick at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you'll get the short end of the stick. People will treat you, they'll treat you how they want to treat you. Love is not truly blind because when someone says they want a typical body type, that's what the person wants. But to me, that is kind of a shallow way to enter a relationship. You say, oh, you want a particular body type, or a woman or man have to look a certain way. That's how a lot of people get hurt. That's how a lot of people get brokenhearted because you want a certain body type. You want a certain body type. That's how you get manipulated. That's how you. There's a lot of females now who have the same body type. They have the same figure. Like everywhere you go, you see the same body type. So a lot of men are blinded by that. They're blinded by the physical. They're blinded by how a female look. But a lot of females, not all, they're coming for those pockets. They're not. They'll look pretty. They'll dress nice, but inside, a lot of them have been through a lot of trauma, heartache, a lot of pain, and they will get whatever they could get from you. Now, I was also watching a podcast the other day, and it was this lady, I forgot her name. She was talking about how her mission was from she was 12 years old. And I don't know what a 12-year-old is doing with a, older gentleman, but she said from she was 12 years old, her mission was to get money from older men, to get sugar daddies pretty much. I don't know what at 12 years old she was doing with them, but if I can find her name, I'll bring up her story. She said she connected with these men at 12 and they were picking her up from school, and that's where it started. And throughout her life, that's what I'm sure she's done now, done playing men, but that's how it started, by using the men, getting whatever she can from them. I don't know if she wasn't monitored as a 12-year-old. 12-year-old is pretty young to do anything with males, but there's a lot of females who are very, I would say, fast. They start very young. They're not monitored by their parents, so they start very young. I knew in middle school, I had friends who, before we got to high school, they were having kids. I thought before they got to high school, they had kids. So there's a lot of girls who they look pretty, but they are very manipulative. There's a lot of guys who they look handsome to the T, they dress to the C, look good, smell good, and drive the nicest car, but those men are coming to play you and manipulate you. So I'm pretty much telling you not to be blinded by people. Don't be blinded by looks. Be Get to know someone, get to know the character. And I'm not saying if you get to know the character of a person, you still will get manipulated. You can't really tell. You cannot really tell how someone will play you and how someone will manipulate it. So if a guy or whoever you're pursuing, if a male or female that you're pursuing tells you they're not into you, they tell you out loud, and you feel like you can change that person's mind, you cannot change that person's mind to be with you. That person is just they're gonna use you and manipulate you and take you for all you have. So if you're okay with being used, manipulated, then go ahead, be with that person who blatantly told you that they're not into you. They're not into you, they're not into anything. So, hi Alex, how are you? Be okay with being with that person that, they say they're not into you. Love is not blind. I think a lot of people are just confused. Love is right in your face. Love is in your face. I think a lot of people, a lot of individuals, they have in their mind, they have a particular person. They're clouded by social media, they're clouded by whatever was taught to them, that there's this perfect person. Like, your partner have to be this perfect person. They have to look this way, they have to act this way. No, there is no perfect person. So the perfect person that you search for, you might get bamboozled or hurt by the perfect person. I've seen so many stories where women and men are getting disappointed left and right. And when I read comments of everything, people are saying they're going to stay single because of what's happening out there. No, don't stay single. You don't have to stay single. You have to, you know, learn how to not get manipulated, learn how to connect with people who are truly for you. A lot of people, they will choose people who use them. They'll choose people who manipulate them. They will not choose the person who shows them the most love or the person who's more genuine to them. I don't know why people are blinded. They're blinded by what? I don't know, by looks, by glamour, by money. Love is blinded by that, but it's up to you. You can choose the right partner, but don't be blinded by the glitz, the glamour, the looks. Because, like I mentioned before, a lot of people, they look good, but they have a very dirty heart. Their insides are really screwed up. When some of you think back, I'm not saying me, but when I read some of the stories, or some of us, we've been through certain things, and certain things that you've been through, you especially, there's educated girls, there's pretty girls that looks very good, and then there's guys who have certain traits, like they're womanizers, they are cheaters, they have multiple baby mothers, and then you go into that relationship with that guy and you think, oh, this, he's not going to do that to me because I'm a baddie, I look the best, I look good, there's no way he's going to do that to me. But men like that will definitely humble women because they don't have any respect for women. A guy who have multiple baby mothers, most of the time, he does not have respect for women, and he does not cherish women the way a woman should be cherished. So if you're like the baddie with the flat stomach, the big butt, the curvy, what do they say, Coca-Cola bottle waist or shape, he's gonna humble you. He's gonna show you that you're not all that, and he's the prize. When all in all, he's not the prize. You're the prize, but you got played by him because you went in there thinking, You're so cute. I look so good that he's not gonna play me." But those type of men will play you. So that's what I'm saying about Love is Blind. You cannot be blinded by your don't be blinded by don't be juvenile in your thinking when you look good. Like, you look good and you think, oh, a guy's never going to do like that for me, do that to me. Human beings don't surprise me. They do whatever they want to get where they want. They just have those people who are their doggy dog mindset. They just do whatever. You don't think Love is Blind anymore? I don't think, what do you, I don't, you don't think Love is Blind anymore? I think Love is still blind because you know what? I watch those shows, Fatal Attraction and all those shows, and I feel like Love is still blind. There's a lot of people who are manipulated by they get manipulated so bad, and they get used, and it's like they don't wake up. They don't wake up. They don't wake up. They just let people use and manipulate them. But the best thing is, you have to be smart. You have to be smart when you enter a relationship. You have to be smart with who you make come into your right. I mean, if you think love is not blind, it doesn't have to be blind. You can say why you don't think it's blind, but I just, people are very, I think, delusional. People are delusional. People fail to see reality. It will be right in their faces and they fail to see it. People tell you who they are. They tell you if they like you versus if they don't like you. And there's a lot of women who they go into a relationship, into a marriage. Look at that lady. There's a lady I watched. She was with a pastor, and the pastor lied to her saying, "Oh, I would leave you. I don't love my wife. I'll leave my wife." Now, that if you're an intelligent woman, that should tell you alone that the man is not going to leave his wife. He's if he's cheating with you on his wife, do you really think he's going to leave his wife? And then you're going to consider that love? That's love if someone is dealing with you and their wife? That's no type of love. And you know what? Okay, so I read a story. I forgot her name. She was cheating with a pastor, and the pastor told her he would not leave his wife. "I'm not leaving my wife for you." And she was an anger management counselor. So she's an anger management counselor. The pastor told her he's not leaving his wife. The pastor's like, "I'm not leaving my wife for you." I think they had a relationship for about 2 years, and the pastor had to break it off. He's not leaving his wife because she wanted a relationship. The pastor's like, "No, I'm not leaving my wife for you." So the pastor and the wife, they moved to another location, I think 45 minutes away from the woman the pastor was cheating with. The woman drove 45 minutes to go unalive the pastor because the pastor would not leave his wife. She thought the pastor loved her. Why would you think someone love you if they're with their wife? What type of love is that? He's with another woman. He's lying to you and the other woman. Now your life is pretty much over. You're behind bars for a man who never loved you in the first place. He never loved you. And now your life is screwed up for the rest of your life for a man that never loved you, never will love you. Yes, you took out your anger on him and you unalived him, but now you're behind bars. And your son, she had a son. So the son have no mother anymore because the mother is behind bars. And now you have that stigma on you that you're you unalive people. So when you get out, or I don't think I think she got life, so she have no more time on earth to have a relationship with a male because she took her anger out. Because if you're ever cheating with a man, don't ever think that man loves. There's nothing love. The man is probably trying to get out of the relationship he's in. The man is probably looking for a way out, or he just wants something fun on the side. But don't think of love. There's no love there. That person doesn't love anyone but himself. He just wants a way to get ahead in life. So, yes, to me, that is blind. Love is blind because people get confused. People are so gullible even at an older age. They're gullible when it comes to relationship and love. I feel in 2026, maybe the older women want to that movie, Stella got her groove back. I feel like a lot of these older women want to get their groove back, so they're getting bamboozled and played, and they're thinking it's love. But as an older as people get older, they should be more wiser when it comes to love, when it comes to being manipulated by the opposite sex. Everything that you went through in your younger years, you should be able to see the key signs. They have courses, they have shows on TV, watch podcasts of the signs you need to pay attention to for people who are manipulators, narcissists, people who are coming into your life just to use you or manipulate you. So at an older age, you have to be careful when you enter relationship. Love should be guarded when you're older. You should know whether or not it's true love or it's love. But like I said, there's people who are gullible and get manipulated easily. So those people must learn to put their guard up because they will get manipulated. They will get bamboozled. They will get used if they don't pay attention. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you when it comes to love. Love is blind. You know, it's very much blind for a man to say, oh, he's not into you, and you think, oh, he's gonna be into me. He's not gonna be into you because he said from the start that he's not into you. He's not into you. So that is why I believe that love can be blind, but you just have to have the tools to know when you're being manipulated versus when you're not being manipulated in a relationship. Now, I'm not saying I've been awake my whole life. Yes, I've been manipulated in a relationship, but I had to let those people go. You don't, when you see the signs of someone trying to manipulate you and bamboozle you, you leave. You don't stay with that person because people are who they are. They are who they are. Some people are just not nice people. They just don't align with you. Some men don't align with you, some women don't align with you. So if you get in a relationship and you're being fooled, you're being bamboozled, leave the relationship. Don't ever think that you won't get someone else. There's plenty of fishes out there. You will get someone that's perfect for you, that will treat you well, that will treat you well. You'll get someone that will treat you well and someone that will treat you how you deserve to be treated. Don't ever settle for less. You know, if you're a single person trying to date, don't ever settle for less. Always put yourself first, always love yourself first. Always, you know, see yourself as the star, the queen, the king before you enter in a relationship and get bamboozled. At an older age, you're supposed to see the signs. I'm not saying everyone will see the signs, but you're supposed to have learned from your past mistakes. When I think about everything that I put up with back then when I was younger, if I was to ever get into a relationship currently, and it would not be the same. So you have to, I would not say put your guard up, but when you're entering into a relationship or a dating scene, you just have to be careful. You have to ask lots of questions, communicate, even bring your friends in it. Sometimes your friends can assess someone better than you or have better discernment. You know, I know a lot of people when they're in a relationship, they want to hide the bad things from their friends or family, but sometimes you have to speak out because your friends or family will have discernment of who, if someone is good or bad, if this person is good or bad, or if this person is really meant for you. And I am not saying all people that you meet, they're really bad people, but there's a lot of people who are good people that will enter your life. There's a stigma saying there are no good men out there, and that's not true. There's plenty of good men out there. There's plenty of good men, plenty of good women, plenty of good people out there. You just have to have discernment and stay away from the bad, and you cannot be the one to be blinded by love because you will get manipulated. You will get manipulated because in 2026, who have time for games? Who have time for games? We have time. I'm not saying we, but I know we, the collective, we want to relax. We want to travel. We want to have fun. We want to have nice gatherings. Who have time for someone playing games or breaking their heart? You know, quit playing games with people's heart. And for the people who are very, gullible and naive. Don't be blinded by love in your 50s and 60s. That's crazy. That is crazy for you to be blinded by love 40s, 50s, 60s. And I feel like that's why a lot of people in the comments say they're staying single because people at an older age are still trying to play games. They don't grow up. They're still trying to be young, still trying to be youthful, still trying to play the same games that they were playing in their 20s. And I feel like those men or women, they were never loved. So they don't know how to love correctly. And they just don't know how to connect deeply with their feelings. Because if you love yourself and you connect deeply with your feelings, then you'll be able to connect to other people. You'll be able to genuinely love other people, have good friends, a good partner, good relationships in your life if you really know how to love. So, a lot of people I think have a lot of childhood trauma and they were never loved correctly. Some of them no fault to their own right, but they never got help because the love that they saw and the love they received, it wasn't really loved. It was trauma bonding, bad parenting. There was no one there to really show them what love is like. Some people they never really saw their parents love because some people they weren't raised with two parents, so they weren't able to experience what real love is. Some people they have real parents, I mean, I'm sorry, real parents. Some individual have two came from a two parent household, but it was a toxic environment, so they don't still don't know what real love is. So if you have not seen real love or felt real love, then you won't be able to obtain it, right? But in if you don't get the tools and the help that you need to up to help yourself, then you probably won't get to the point of real love because you didn't work on yourself. You have to work on yourself in order to find that true love. You have to work on yourself in order to, get the love that you need. Some people, they need to do healing. It's the same as being a parent. You have to work on yourself to be a better parent. It's the same. Loving and being a parent, it's the same. You work on yourself to be a better parent. You work on yourself to be a better partner, to find a partner. And there's ways to do it. They have a lot of life coaches, a lot of, therapy, a lot of workshop building. You can build on yourself. Just like you go to a career and they have team building, you definitely can work on yourself, and you don't have to settle for what you don't want. A lot of people, when I say love is blind, sometimes a lot of people will settle for things that are not meant for them or people that are not meant for them. And that will cause the blindness in the relationship, that will cause the manipulation, the using, the people treating you how you're not supposed to be treated when you fall for when you don't love yourself. You have to love yourself first. If you love yourself, you will always walk away from people who don't treat you the way you treat yourself. If you treat yourself with love, you take care of yourself, and you have people around you who genuinely love you. Some people will feed life into you. They will make you think you're better than how you feel inside. Some people will make you feel like a ray of sunshine. You have those type of people in your life, or you should have those type of people who they will feed you with words of affirmation. They will lift you up. They will make you feel like $1 million. So I hope that you find love by loving yourself first. I hope that you find love by treating yourself the way that you're supposed to treat yourself. And I hope that you find love because you know what? You are meant to be loved. We're all meant to be loved. We're loved by God, we're loved by the universe. So don't curse yourself and think you're not meant to be loved. You are. We are all special in our own way. We all have our own uniqueness. Don't let. Hi, Allie. How are you? I'm sure I'm not your mom. Hi, how are you, hon? Um, we all should, we have our own uniqueness. And when you learn to understand your uniqueness in life, then you'll understand that you must. Don't forget to like my live, guys. Don't forget to like my live and subscribe to my channel, please. We all, hopefully, you're doing good, Allie. Um, don't forget to like my live. We all have our own uniqueness. We all have our own, um, we're all individuals. And don't get into a relationship and make anyone make you feel less than, or make anyone make you feel like you're not good enough. Today we're talking about love is blind. People can be blinded by how someone look, how much money someone have. They can be blinded by the glitz and the glamour. They can be blinded by the outside when people are not, they're not who they portray themselves to be. But in order to not be blinded by love, you have to love yourself first. So if you're being treated inappropriately, then you can leave the relationship, leave the love less. Don't let a marriage or a relationship or even kids bind you to someone if that person is not treating you the way that you desire or you deserve to be treated. You will find someone. I know a lot of women are afraid, especially single mom. They're afraid to find love. They're afraid to date. They're afraid to bring a new person in their life because they feel like, oh, I have my kids, I have this baggage, so no one will take me out. But there are men out there who will date a single mom. There are genuine men who will be there for a single mom. Some people look beyond you being a single mom. They look at you as a person. If you're a genuine person, yeah, you're saying you have to keep your heart guarded. I say you have to keep your heart guarded, but you have to just be aware of the person who you're entering into your life. And I feel like you should also not be surprised by what people do, because people are who they are and they should not surprise you. People show themselves from the very beginning. They show who they are, they show their personalities, they show the type of people based on their actions, how you talk to them, how they move. A lot of us, or we're blinded by that. We're blinded because a lot of women or men will try to change their partners, and you cannot change an individual. You can't change someone to love you. You can force someone to love you. If that person don't love you or don't see you in that light, it's okay. You just can leave. You're just not in sync with them. We're all on this earth, but not everyone that we meet will be aligned or in sync with our journey or our life. The right people that's really aligned to our life, they don't leave us. They stay with us throughout our entire life. No matter near or far, long distance, you can call and talk to them. But the people who are meant to be in your life, they don't leave your life. And those people, they love you, they'll build you up, they will tolerate, they will, they'll tell you whether you're doing good or doing bad. They'll tell you about yourself. If you hurt them, they'll tell you. True people who love you and who really care for you will be in your life forever. But a lot of people who have been hurt are guarded already. They're guarded. They will not let love in. You know why they will not let love in? Because they were hurt. But you can let love in again, because trust me, you were hurt once, but you can find a good person who's genuine, who is genuinely there for you, who cares about you. They exist in this world. I'm telling you. People are just looking. Like I said, love is blind because you're looking on the outside. A person doesn't have to look the way you want them to look. They might have some look come to you looking totally different and be a good person. They don't have to be the who what do you guys want? A lot of people want the picture perfect person. They have to look like they came out of a magazine, but the people who look like they came out of magazine are the some of them are the most shallowest people. They don't care about anything but vanity and looks. They don't have if you talk to them, they don't have substance. They you can't have a proper conversation with them about nothing but vanity and material things. But life is deeper than that. Life is deeper than the material things. Life is deeper than what you see on the outside. Life is deeper. It's within you, you know? So, pretty much saying that you have to love yourself first. You have to make sure you discern who's coming into your life. Make sure you have conversations with who's coming into your life and make sure you're a good person. And also make sure you're a good person. So, yes, if you don't want to be hurt, you have to pretty much, if you don't want to be hurt, you have to pretty much guard your heart. Guard your heart. And I cannot speak for the world because when you enter a relationship with someone, it's you and that individual. When you enter the relationship, it's you and that person. It's not you and anyone else. So you have to discern whether this person love you or not. You can hear the chatter from your friends or family or whoever. Your friends or family can tell you, oh, this person is not good for you, or yes, but it's up to you. You know, it's up to you. You're going to discern whether or not you want to stay with that person. For instance, I don't know if you guys know Fantasia Barrino. So her husband of 11 years previously he proposed to her in one of her concerts recently, and it was really nice. He proposed, he said we should start over. She didn't get a big proposal. I will do it now. After he did that, it was so sweet. Then her father came on live to say that her husband stole from her and he's a fraud or whatever, like he's not being genuine. And then she now go back online and she put something out on her father saying that she's not done. She's mad at her dad for coming into her relationship and blasting that online. But yes, that's a family feud. But see, the father is thinking that the husband is not good for Fantasia, but Fantasia is seeing that her husband is good for her. So Fantasia is saying, yes, her husband is good for her. So pretty much when you meet someone, it's your discernment. Other people will be on the outside looking in, But it's up to you whether or not you want to stay in that relationship or whether or not you want to listen to the noise and the chatter outside. You might not listen to the noise or the chatter. You might not. Some people will. Some people, they are highly influenced by others. They're, even at an older age, they're highly influenced by their parents, mother, father, sister, whatever. They're highly influenced. So whatever their parents or siblings say or friends about their relationship, they'll take it to heart. But you cannot do that. You cannot take everything to heart. You have to work with your partner on your relationship because you're the one in that relationship. No one else is in that relationship with you. You have to work with your partner in that relationship. Now, guys, please don't forget to like my live when you enter the channel. Please, please like the live. Now, you can enter into that relationship, but all the noise, like Fantasia's father came in, he bought her family drama online. As a parent, you don't do that. You don't bring your child's drama online. You text your child, you call your child to say, oh, what's going on? And they were in a marriage. Fantasia and her husband was in a marriage for 11 years. That's a very long time. So if you're in a marriage for 11 years, you're going to go through some type of ups and downs. Everything is not going to be peaches and cream. You're going to go through something. And she probably did go through whatever the father was saying. She probably did. But the problem is the fact that the father brought their relationship to the public, their relationship drama to the public, which the father shouldn't have done that. He should have went to his daughter, talked to her privately about the issues that he was having with the husband. And also, it's not the father's business because you know what? You raise your daughter, or they're saying he didn't even raise her. You didn't raise your daughter, but yet you can come online and talk reckless about your own child. He probably don't have access to her money, or the husband manages everything, and that's why the father is mad. But I'm happy that Fantasia stood up for her relationship and her marriage because it is her relationship, it is her marriage, and they know best what's going on inside of the relationship. So I love is blinded because maybe she did go through something, but he's the man is probably now changed. He's probably a different person. He's probably a different person. He's probably now changed. So the father should never have gone through, the father should have never said that or done that. That's something that should not have happened on social media. So that's what I'm saying. The father shouldn't have done that. It shouldn't have happened on social media. That's just something that shouldn't have happened. So Fantasia and her father, hopefully they're getting along just fine now. But, well, they're not getting along just fine because they're still disputing about what he said on live. But hopefully they can resolve that drama, and Fantasia and her husband, whatever he's doing. And yes, when a man um does something publicly, he's trying to show the world that yes, he probably did wrong, but he's now ready to change. So Fantasia's husband is probably, he has regrets and he's want to keep her. He doesn't want to end the relationship, and he doesn't want to end the relationship. So he's saying yes. He's proposing to her in public, and he's saying, yes, this is not going to change. Our relationship is what it is, and it's not going to change. So I'm very happy for her. I'm happy for her because she's been through a lot of relationship drama. She's been through a lot, like the last man that she was with. the wife had to call and say, "Oh, you're with my husband." So I'm happy for Fantasia. I feel like her husband is very genuine and that he will make it work. They will work it out. They've been together for 11 years. I feel like they should work it out. They should definitely work it out. And I appreciate that, I appreciate that for her because a lot of people with her, she probably was blinded in the beginning, but things have changed. She woke up. As you mature and get older in a relationship or get older in general, you're supposed to mature. You're supposed to be a lot wiser with relationships and the things with your life. But a lot of people are reverting backwards because they're so into this social media, dressing this way, dressing that way. They want to retain their youth. And yes, we all want to look young and stay young forever, but our actions should not be young. Yes, you can look young, you can look vibrant, you can look sexy, you can, dress whatever you, however you want, do whatever you want because you're taking care of yourself or your husband is taking care of you. But be mature as well. Be mature as well. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed what I was talking about Love is Blind and how you're supposed to focus more on love. I mean, focus more on yourself, loving yourself. Focus more on loving yourself because that's all it's about. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on to my live tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful night and hopefully we can talk tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who liked my live and thank you for everyone who joined in. I appreciate all your support and have a great night. Bye bye.